Hi, welcome to Tipsy Tooth Talk. I'm Dr. Carlin Palmer Blume.
And I'm Dr. Michelle Bishop, and I call it T-Cubed because I can't say it.
Woo-woo.
I'm on a streak saying it.
So here we are, and we are making, this might be our most complicated
There's a lot of stuff.
Little recipe yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do some things here, and it's called the London Fog.
Oh,
So I'm kind of excited.
It's got a lot of my favorite stuff, so I think
Yeah.
we're good.
So the last one we made was sweet. This one's going to be more earthy, savory style to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Nice. And then we're going to start a series on partials and dentures. So if you're missing teeth, what are your options? So we'll get to that.
And I'll even throw in a PD partial at the end.
There you go. Okay.
So I'm going to start by letting our simple syrup start doing its thing. So we're making fancy simple syrup. It's called Rosemary Peppercorn syrup.
Nice.
So we have, and this is intended to make and store and use again. So we're making way too much for just 2 drinks. So hopefully we like it and we want to store it and use it again. But it is a cup of warm simple syrup. So we went ahead and took our little Fancy Nancy simple syrup and heated it up.
Do about 30 seconds in the microwave.
Yep. And then it says to add 2 sprigs, throwing sprigs, 2 sprigs of rosemary.
I love rosemary. It smells good.
Yep. And then it also asks for 1 tablespoon of peppercorn. So I got the colorful peppercorns because I just thought that would be pretty.
Sure.
And so we put those in there.
Okay.
And we're just gonna let that sit for a little while.
You slashed that and I was like,
Trust the process. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start smoking our glass.
Oh, okay. I was like, listen, I'm not smoking rosemary.
I mean,
I don't care if all the cool kids are doing it.
So what we're gonna do is
okay. I'm like, oh.
I'm gonna use the flamethrower. You probably know how to do this better than I do.
Yeah, are we just trying to light it on?
We're gonna light it on fire and then we're gonna put the glass over it. So you light it,
Okay.
and then I'll put the glass over it.
Okay. Kind of have to. This is like a two-handed.
Everything you have is two-handed.
I know, it's like, well, because, you know, somebody somewhere blew their house.
And let's move that.
I feel like I'm gonna lose a hand or something. Oh, Mamma Mia! Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I need some more.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay.
Okay. There's one.
Okay.
Now I figured it out. All you have to do is click this down, and then you can use one hand to
Okay.
hit the torch portion. My goodness.
Smells good. When are we gonna have our smell-o-vision?
I know. Let me do this again. Because this really does smell good.
Okay.
Okay? Got it? You good?
Good.
Okay. Whew.
So now we're smoking our glasses.
Stressful. Okay.
So we've torched our rosemary sprig and we placed it under our coupe glasses.
Okay.
And now we're good on that. So now we're gonna add all of our ingredients to our cocktail shaker.
Okay.
All right, so we are doing gin. Now this called for high Claire gin, but that was just for, you know, an advertisement and so I've got this gray whale gin, which they told me at the liquor store is kind of an earthy,
Okay.
earthy gin. So I thought it would be good for this.
Okay.
So we're gonna do 4 ounces. And if you want yours, because you know where it is, that's fine.
I got it. 2, 4. I saw that it said High Claire, and I didn't realize that this wasn't High Claire, but you know, High Claire Castle is where they filmed Downton Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
I should go live there because I'd be a good Lady Mary, I feel like.
I don't watch it, so I can't relate.
I'd be a good Lady Mary, I'm just saying.
So now we need 4 ounces of pear liqueur.
Ooh.
And I chose that one because it was in French.
Pear, come on. I know, this is sounding good. 2. And highly recommend so far.
Mm-hmm. And now we're gonna do an ounce, just 1 ounce of brandy.
Okay.
And then I did what you do,
Yes.
and I got my HEB
Cheetorita.
lemon juice, and we're gonna do 3 ounces of lemon juice.
Thank you, partner, whoever you were that squeezed all those lemons this morning, because it's usually like fresh squeezed. It's like same day, and somebody's up at dark 30 squeezing lemons, and we appreciate you a lot. I mean, that's a lot of lemons, y'all. Wait, 3 ounces?
3.
Okay, so that's 2.5 to the top. And another half ounce. Oop, I almost dropped the whole thing.
And then we're gonna strain it, so I'm not gonna worry about peppercorns getting in here.
Yeah.
And 2 ounces, that's what this is, right?
Yes.
2 ounces of our rosemary peppercorn simple syrup.
Okay. I mean, filled to the rim. There's like no room.
No room at the end.
And now we're shaking.
Shaky, shaky.
I mean, it's to the rim. I'm like, let's make sure that puppy's shut. Oh, hang on. It was moving. Got like a death grip on it. This one's much quieter than mine. Well, because it's insulated and it's... Who knew?
I went out and got a cheap fancy one. All right, smell that. I wish you could smell it.
I wish. Smell-o-vision.
So
Smell-o-vision coming soon.
Smell-o-vision.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Oh, now I'm gonna. Can I make the perfect pour? Oh, you seem to have a knack for that. I don't typically. Oh, it's making a. I'm loving that it's making a lot.
Hopefully it's good. We want it to make a lot. I've never had a London fog. Have you?
No, I've never even heard of it. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, a peppercorn made it into yours.
That's
And then it says to put your smoked rosemary in it.
Look at how pretty those are. That looks lovely.
It smells fantastic.
It does.
Cheers to beautiful smiles.
I like trying.
It's pretty good.
I'm down with that.
It's not as strong as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to have this really big kick to it. It kind of doesn't.
It doesn't, and that's why it could be dangerous. Because you could sip this and not really feel like you're drinking a whole lot. And yeah, that's good. Hold on.
It's really smooth. And it almost seems like it's going to be sweet, and then it's not.
Yeah, it's like a perfect balance of a sweet and savory drink.
I wonder if
be.
this sat longer,
I'm
how
sure.
much that would change the flavor.
Ooh, we'll have to try that out.
Yeah.
We'll report back in the next episode. You remember that London fog? We let it seep, and
It did change the flavor.
that's really good. I'm just gonna take one more sip here. I like it. That's a great one. I like
Nice.
that.
I'm glad you're talking again, so I can drink.
I know. How'd this happen?
Strategy on my part.
Okay. Well, so when people are missing teeth, and I mean more than one tooth, sometimes more than likely more than 2 teeth, and we begin to talk about options and say, for instance, that implants are not something that they can do, and that's something we'll cover later on. I'm getting the cues from production that my stuff is in the way. So then we begin to talk about partials. And so here's how I talk to patients about partials. After we get through no, I don't want to do implants. No, I don't, or I don't have the teeth to support a bridge. What's my other option? Okay, well, partials. Partials are a very economical way to replace a lot of teeth quickly. It's like, think of a retainer with teeth on it. That's usually what I say. A retainer with teeth on it. Think of your kids' retainers, but without the metal wire across the front, and it's got teeth on it. So It's a process though. It's not, you can have them made quickly. I always discourage my patients from that. I go through a multi-step process to ensure that you know what it's gonna feel and fit like before it's even finished. So my process starts with a scan or an impression, and it goes off to the lab and comes back, and there's a couple different ways that you can have partials made. This one, I'll walk over here. Not terribly sure you can see it really well, but there is some metal in there. And then my other one, will you hand that to me, please? Has no metal in it. So metal, no metal. And the purpose of the difference between the two, let me back up. I could get a little scattered on this. So we take the impression, it goes off to the lab. If we're doing metal, the metal framework comes back and we try that in. That's step one. To make sure that, you don't want to go through the entire thing and then find out that the metal was somehow warped in the process and doesn't fit. So we try in the metal framework. And then I get some measurements, because there's big blocks of wax where the teeth should be, and I send it back to the lab. And then it comes back with all the teeth set in wax, so that you can see the color, the shape, the size. I can have you bite together and I know that your teeth line up. And that's really important when we're doing something that has a front tooth. We want to see that color and that shape and that size next to your natural teeth before it's finished. So then if everything looks good at what we call the wax tooth try-in, we send it back to the lab, and then it's finished, it comes back. So we've already gone through the entire process knowing that this fits you, you like the way it looks, and all we have to do it now is finish. And so really the difference with metal and flexible or all plastic is longevity. So these are flexible. I don't know if you can see me flexing that. And these are not. The metal is going to last you longer. When we're working with insurance in particular, there is typically a clause. We've already covered the insurance drama. There is typically a clause that says if they pay for a partial or a denture, they're only going to pay for that once in a set amount of years, again, determined by your employer or by you when you selected that policy. On average, it's 5 years, 5 to 7 years. Sometimes now they're getting closer to 8, which I think is crazy, but such as insurance. So if we know that we can't replace something for at least 5 to 7 years, well then a metal one, I'm fairly certain, is going to last you that long, and I have confidence in that. We've come a long way with our Flexite partials. However, it's plastic, and if you leave it out and it dries out, or you
put it in your car.
You put it in your car and the plastic warps, well, then we don't have the longevity, and then your insurance isn't going to pick up a portion of it for you. So, but some people can't tolerate the metal. Some people have metal allergies. And so this is a great option. They're comfortable because they do flex with you where these have no give. And it allows you to, if you've never worn anything, people adapt to these really, really well. They're comfortable. They don't have metal showing. If you're missing teeth in the back, but close. We'll get to that too. If you're missing teeth in the back and you have to have, these are held in place by a clasp, right? A piece of wire or a piece of plastic that's going to hook around your tooth. I love these all plastic ones because you can do the all plastic clasp and you don't really see it. They kind of hide up in there. Traditional partials will have a metal clasp or wire that comes around your tooth. Downside is it's not very pretty. Upside is as you take them on and off over a period of time, they will get loose. The metal I can adjust. I can make it tighter, I can make it looser, I can change its position and get it to fit you better. The plastic ones I can change to a degree because I can warm the material and push it in, or I can push it out, or it'll kind of adapt with your body temperature, but I can't tighten it like I can a metal one.
I do have to interject
Mhm.
that this is way nicer than even they were back
Oh,
when
yeah.
so I haven't done a partial in
A hot minute.
12 years or more. No, more than that, 13, 14 years. And man, even if you did choose metal, like the rest on the tooth is even smaller than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
These clasps, the whole thing's lighter. Like
Mhm.
they used to weigh a ton.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
I've got a lab. Ooh, Chad, shout out to you. He's amazing with these things. Okay, clasp. So again, the plastic ones look nice, but once it begins to get loose, it's really hard to make them tight again. So again, that goes back to longevity. You know, fits great the first couple years, third, fourth year, suddenly, oh, you know, it's dropping on this side or it rocks a little bit. Well, I can try and move these clasps a little bit, but we're not going to get a whole lot of difference like I can with the metal ones. So the metal ones, of course, you can do a combo as well where we can have some metal on the back side of the tooth, which is what I'm doing more and more of, so that I get a little bit of adjustment there, and then have the clear plastic on the front side of the tooth so that it's a little more cosmetically pleasing. But again, even these, because the back side of the tooth, this is going to be weird, but you can't get as much retention or hold or grab on the back side of the tooth like you can on the front side of the tooth. So even though I have metal there that I can maybe snug in a little bit or loosen up, it doesn't give us the same result as snugging in a metal on the front side of the tooth. So partials, though, have their limitations. Plastic ones, I caution people, you are not eating, you're not biting into ribs with them, you're not biting into corn on the cob. Some people can, you know, you've got the exceptions to everything. But you have to be careful with them because they're plastic teeth and things will break. And if you leave them out and they get dry, or you leave them in your car and they warp, the plastic begins to break down. And just like with everything else, you're going to have, sometimes we have teeth that pop out, and that has to be repaired. The all plastic ones are harder to repair than the ones that are on the metal, because it's a different type of material than what's on here. This can easily be repaired in a lab or even in the office.
Is this Valplast?
It is a form of Valplast. It's called Flexite.
Okay.
Yeah. The old Valplast partials, not a whole lot of people are doing them anymore because they were so difficult to repair. Like you really almost could not repair them. And if you did, I had a lab that used to repair them, but it would take like a week. And someone that a partial is replacing their front teeth isn't going to be without their partial for a week. But I guess if they're already missing a tooth, then they're already missing a tooth. Right? So I don't know.
What do you do, right?
But long and short, people just weren't happy with it.
Mhm.
And so they did come up with a different type of material. And this is a little easier to repair, but it does take some time. It takes a skilled technician to do it. You can't just repair this in the office with your traditional acrylics and a pressure pot. You've got to send this out. I send these out to the lab, which is usually about a day or so. I mean,
we've done like 20 episodes with no problems with the dog, and that like the last 4,
yes,
she like established a pattern that now she wants to talk to us
yes,
every time.
yes. And you would think having a production crew in house this time would help, but
Ah,
no. So cheers to the dog and the production crew. Hang on.
production crew had to take a phone call.
Way more important. Okay. So the other thing to know about partials, they come in, they come out. This is not you don't put it in today and never take it out again. You put it in the morning and you take it out at night. And it's super important that you're taking them out at night because just like your body needs rest, your tissue needs rest. And if you continue to wear this all night long and your tissue underneath the plastic part and the metal part is continually working to support it, you'll begin to lose bone over time and the tissue will become flabby and then you'll begin to have gaps up underneath there. The other thing is that, again, you put it in the morning, you take it out at night, it moves, y'all. Even though it's attached to teeth, it's moving and you will get food and you will get fluids up underneath there, and that drives some people crazy until they learn how to adapt to it. And I tell people all the time, and I tell them not at the day I give them the partial, but the appointment before, when they're happy with the way everything looks, I give them all the instructions. Put it in the morning, you take it out at night. You don't just take it out and put it by your, bedside table or, on the sink. You've got to care and clean for it, and there's different things you can use on it. You never, ever, ever use toothpaste on these. Toothpaste is too abrasive for the plastic, and you'll create little micro scratches in it, and then food will begin to stick to it, and it'll absorb odors and smells. So liquid hand soap or dishwashing liquid, or the somebody just came out with a partial cleaning liquid that they sell right next to toothpaste. Anything like that, but you just don't want to use regular toothpaste on this. The other thing too is, just like our night guards when we talked about this, you don't want this anywhere near your pets because it smells just like you. And it's their new favorite chew toy. And this is a really expensive chew toy. Chew toy.
Here she goes.
Chew toy. I made it a long time without flubbing something up there. Okay, so where we were talking about, your night guard or your sports guard is expensive if your dog gets a hold of it. These guys are really expensive.
Give them your night guard instead of that.
Yeah, because that's easily to replace. This one, again, and the worst part about the insurance is, so say you're at 4 years and 6 months, and you have 6 months to wait, and you decide, now I'm just going to pay for it. Well, we still have to report that. And so your insurance then stacks on another 5 years. So it's not like, I'll just pay for it now, and then I'll get another one in 6 months. That'll be my backup.
Nope.
Doesn't work that way. Thank your insurance company for that. Or your HR. Go talk to them.
Yep.
Those are the clauses that they've
Not us. We can't do it. We can't fix it.
Can't do anything with it.
But it's fraud if we lie.
Yes. And I like you, but not that much. So different types of partials. Again, here's somebody's lower teeth. They're missing all their molars in the back. In one fell swoop, I've got 6 teeth, and it just snaps right in, and now we've got teeth again.
Those are so nice.
I know. And then on the upper, you could be missing a few here, one in front, a couple over here. We've got the full thing, and it's replacing. So it's a very economical way to replace teeth and regain some function so that you're balanced. Again, we've talked about how teeth like to be balanced. And so they're great. And yes, implants are fantastic, and bridges are fantastic, and that's nice. But listen, these have been around for a long time. And obviously, as you've heard Dr. Blume say, they've come a long way just since we've been in school. But they're a great replacement.
Just do me a favor. I have a few patients that led me down the path to pediatrics. Mm-hmm. 2 of them were really good experiences. 2 of them were really bad experiences. One of them was a partial.
Oh, yeah.
So, take care of the remaining teeth. Because if you don't take care of your remaining teeth, and it happens to be a tooth that the partial uses for support, and you don't take care of it, then your partial's not going to fit right anymore. Mm-hmm. And just repairing your partial isn't your solution, because your problem is the tooth that it's using for support. So you've really got to take care of the remaining teeth and understand that, like in a case like this model, I don't want to break it. You get it off.
I've already dropped it.
I dropped it like an inch. Where this person is missing all of their back teeth on both sides, right? So they're really relying entirely on these 2 teeth. Over time, these 2 teeth are going to weaken. Mm-hmm. So you want to take excellent care of them, but you also need to understand that if you are not a very old person, you will probably have to get something else down the road.
Right.
Like, this will serve you for a very long time, right? You may even get a couple of partials that'll work this way. But you've got to really take care of these remaining teeth, and you have to understand that these 2 teeth are doing a whole bunch of work for your whole mouth.
Right.
And someday you're going to have another plan.
Right. The other thing too is, as we demonstrated earlier when we dropped it, if
And I dropped it.
if you drop them, teeth will break out. Okay, it doesn't matter if I made it today or if I made it 6 years ago. If you drop it and you hit tile in particular, usually teeth will chip or break out, and it's because it's plastic. It's just like if you dropped anything off your bathroom sink and it hit the floor and hit hard tile, you may chip something, and the same goes for your partial. So I get people all the time that are like, I dropped it and it broke. Well, you dropped it.
That's
So
what happens.
that's what happens.
And we don't mean to be blasé or rude about it. It just,
No.
it's one of those, we want to help people who have missing teeth, and you'll get my full opinion about PD partials later. I don't even think I have an example of one, but I can ask the lab for one.
The other thing too is
They're high maintenance.
they are high maintenance, and they require dedication on your part. Again, I can't emphasize enough. I think it's a great economical way to replace a lot of teeth quickly. If I have somebody, say for instance, in this situation, they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teeth left up on top. The way that this partial is made, whether I do it in metal or if I do it in all plastic, is exactly the way I would do it, because it lines all of the back teeth. So if they lose another tooth and I have to take it out, I can easily take this same partial, take a new impression, send it to the lab, and a tooth can be added to it, so we keep using the same partial. Whereas something like this, where it's not touching the back of the teeth, we can't add to this. This can't be added to. It is what it is. And if we lose a front tooth, then we're looking at making a new partial. And some of it sometimes is your anatomy. If there's things going on up here that they can't quite get the metal or the acrylic up there, well, we can't make a full coverage. And this isn't for everybody. People don't want plastic or metal all the way across the roof of their mouth. But sometimes if I know, because I know the history on my patients and I know what their remaining teeth, what their prognosis is, or what I think their future is going to be, then sometimes I'll recommend that. So there are ways that this can, I don't want to say grow with you, but almost grow with you. So that's my little take on partial. So this is part 1. We're going to go through like a denture series. So this is a partial, what we call a partial denture. Sometimes people will call these bridges. I have people come in all the time and say, my bridge broke. This is not a bridge. This is a partial denture, because it's partially replacing your teeth.
And we call them removable partial dentures.
Removable partial.
RPD.
Yes, because they come in and out. So that's my take on our removable partial dentures.
Those are lovely.
I know, Chad. He does such a good job. I love him. He's a good guy.
I don't miss doing them though.
Small business here. He's a local lab. He comes by himself to pick it up.
Oh.
Yeah, good job. Okay. Well, you already...
It was good. And she was talking. So, cheers.
Cheers to beautiful smiles.
Thank you.